Circling this blank page like a red tail, there are so many ways I could dive. Turns out Hermann Hesse was one of your idols as well. Tricky word that, idol. Not ideal if one is referring to a god doll. Barbie angel, dysmorphia, dystopia, etc. You know what I mean. I find myself wondering, what would Rumi think about the gadgets of today? Would the old Persian mystic tip-tap human fingers on Apple's latest update to channel ancient tomes? I recently found a dog-eared paperback of your novel, Still Life with Woodpecker, in our local used bookstore. I own multiple copies of all of your books, but of course I had to procure this one, greedy ink fiend that I am. In it was a ticket stub to an Angels game in 1984. It's 2025, and in Florida, Orwell's spirit is saying, "Told ya." Fierce individuals formed in hot climates. You, Hesse, and I'd like to think I. A rare breed, these cavalier us's. Of course, everyone is one, but the hibernation sedative is strong. On cue, I just told someone at the gym you passed away, and they said, "I've heard of Tony Robbins." From now on, I will have to spit any time someone mentions a false guru's name, even indoors, like in that movie I can't remember the name of. The red-haired librarian in our small town by the sea told me how deep the guilt of overdue library books goes. Perhaps religious fear, goody two-shoe syndrome? This local legend who I project the status of angel upon basically said, "We are not punishing and wish people would stop letting this silly brainwashed guilt deter them from entering our vaults of imagination." Before you left your body, I came close to you through a few different friends. I now possess an unedited proof of Jitterbug Perfume inscribed by you. Thank you, Ruth. I wanted to have you on the show, and of course, in essence, I did. Since a teenager, your work has served as imagination jumper cables for the flying saucer that is my soul. In lieu of a literal conversation, I thought I'd ask you some questions and have loved ones read your answers that echo from your immortal pages. I can't wait to hang with you, Hesse and Taylor, when it's time. And while I'm in a body, please give me a sprinkle of that wild imagination and courage you embodied so ferociously. Thank you for being truly you. Love you, man. Welcome to the show, Tom. Seeing as you are no longer confined to frog pajamas, it seems fitting to have you as a guest on a program with hearse in the title. To begin with an obvious question, what are your thoughts on the D word? Death, that is.
I do not fear death. I resent it. Everything must die, apparently, and I'm no exception, but I want to be consulted, you know what I mean? I journey to the east where I've been told there are men who have taught death some manners.
Wow. Thank you. I assume your journeying to the east is a reference to one of my favorite books, Journey to the East by Hermann Hesse. I look forward to seeing y'all there. Next, I would love for you to tell me some of your thoughts on poetry. I feel that it is somehow the essence of life, the language of the soul, and yet can be thrown into the recycling bin of useless toys.
Poetry is nothing more than an intensification or illumination of common objects and everyday events. until they shine with their singular nature, until we can experience their power, until we can follow their steps in the dance, until we can discern what parts they play in the great order of love. How's this done? By fucking around with the syntax.
Oof, you're a beast, man. Wild tongue. Thank you. Obviously, the world is cooking right now. What are your thoughts on the political situation?
What is politics, after all, but the compulsion to preside over property and make other people's decisions for them? Liberty, the very opposite of ownership and control, cannot then result from political action, either at the polls or the barricades, but rather evolves out of attitude. If it results from anything, it may be levity.
If civilization is ever going to be anything but a grandiose pratfall, anything more than a can of deodorizer in the shithouse of existence, the people are going to have to concern themselves with magic and poetry.
Reality is subjective, and there's an unenlightened tendency in this culture to regard something as important only if it's sober and severe. Your cheerful dumb are not so much happy as lobotomized, but your gloomy smart are just as ridiculous. When you're unhappy, you get to pay a lot of attention to yourself, and you get to take yourself oh so very seriously. Your truly happy people, which is to say, your people who truly like themselves, they don't think about themselves very much. Your unhappy person resents it when you try to cheer him up, because that means he has to stop dwelling on himself and start paying attention to the universe. Unhappiness is the ultimate form of self-indulgence. Humanity has advanced. When it has advanced, not because it has been sober, responsible, and cautious, but because it has been playful, rebellious, and immature.
Oh man, you are tapped into the inkwell of the gods. Thank you. All right, so what are your thoughts on that overused and whitewashed word, love?
Love is the ultimate outlaw.
It just won't adhere to any rules. The most any of us can do is to sign on as its accomplice. Instead of vowing to honor and obey, maybe we should swear to aid and abet. That would mean that security is out of the question. The words make and stay become inappropriate. My love for you has no strings attached. I love you for free.
Can you please speak about what courage means to you?
You risked your life. What else have you ever risked? Have you risked disapproval? Have you risked
economic security? Have you ever risked a belief? I see nothing particularly courageous about risking one's life, so you lose it. You go to
your hero's heaven and everything is milk and honey till the end of time, right? You get your reward and suffer no earthly consequences. That's not courage.
Real courage is risking something that might force you to rethink your thoughts and suffer change and
stretch consciousness. Real courage is risking one's cliches.
What are your thoughts on imagination and creativity?
Those people who recognize that imagination is reality's master, we call sages. And those who act upon it, we call artists. All a person can do in life is gather about him his integrity, his imagination, and his individuality. And with these ever with him, out in front and in sharp focus, leap into the dance of experience. To one degree or another, everybody is connected to the mystery, and everybody secretly yearns to expand the connection. That requires expanding the soul. These things can enlarge the soul. Laughter, danger, imagination, meditation, wild nature, passion, compassion, psychedelics, beauty, iconoclasm, and driving around in the rain with the top down. These things can diminish it. Fear, bitterness, blandness, trendiness, egotism, violence, corruption, ignorance, grasping, and eating ketchup on cottage cheese.
What is art to you?
In the haunted house of life, art is the only stair that doesn't creak. A mockingbird was heard to blend the songs of 32 different kinds of birds into a 10-minute performance, a virtuoso display that served no practical purpose, falling, therefore, into the realm of pure art. The most useful thing about art is its uselessness.
What are your thoughts about the current state of pop culture?
Well, Daddy, I used to believe that artists went crazy in the process of creating the beautiful works of art that kept society sane. Nowadays, though, artists make intentionally ugly art that's only supposed to reflect society rather than inspire it. So I guess we're all loony together now. Loony rats in the shithouse of commercialism.
Agreed. As a father of a young boy, I am often pondering how best to raise him in today's world. What are your thoughts on the modern education system?
The brutal truth is, we're scarcely educating children at all. Even if you overlook the guilt, fear, bigotry, and dangerous anti-intellectual flapdoodle being funneled into young brains by schools on the religious right, what we're doing is training kids to be cogs in the wheels of commerce.
If little else, the brain is an educational toy. The problem with possessing such an engaging toy is that other people want to play with it too. Sometimes they'd rather play with yours than theirs, or they object if you play with yours in a different manner from the way they play with theirs. The result is, a few games out of a toy department of possibilities are universally and endlessly repeated. If you don't play some people's games, they say that you have lost your marbles. Not recognizing that, while Chinese checkers is indeed a fine pastime, a person may also play dominoes, chess, strip poker, tiddlywinks, drop the soap, or Russian roulette with his brain.
What do you see as the purpose of education?
Education is for growth and fulfillment.
To you, what is the gift that the intense road of being a creative person provides?
If you take any activity, any art, any discipline, any skill, take it and push it as far as it will go. Push it beyond where it has ever been before. Push it to the wildest edges of edges. Then you force it into the realm of magic.
What do you think we come to Earth for?
Our greatest human adventure is the evolution of consciousness. We are in this life to enlarge the soul, liberate the spirit, and light up the brain.
What is your perspective on war?
There are many things worth living for, a few things worth dying for, and nothing worth killing for.
I once went deep down a rabbit hole, believing that I could find the secret to life. In the end, I believe that there is no one secret or answer, but that life is a mystery to be experienced daily. What is your take on this?
I believe life is a Zen koan, that is, an unsolvable riddle. But the contemplation of that riddle, even though it cannot be solved, is in itself transformative. And if the contemplation is of high enough quality, you can merge with the divine.
How did you become so wildly yourself in a world, as Emerson said, that is constantly trying to make you something else?
Our lives are not as limited as we think they are. The world is a wonderfully weird place. Consensual reality is significantly flawed. No institution can be trusted, but love does work. All things are possible. And we all could be happy and fulfilled if we only had the guts to be truly free and the wisdom to shrink our egos and quit taking ourselves so damn seriously.
You, Hermann Hesse, and many of my favorite humans highlight individuality as the goal, to truly be yourself. What does that mean to you?
Our individuality is all that we have. There are those who barter it for security, those who repress it for what they believe is the betterment of the whole society. But blessed in the twinkle of the morning star is the one who nurtures it and rides it in grace and love and wit, from peculiar station to peculiar station along life's bittersweet route.
In your experience, what does it take to cut the umbilical cords that ensnare us and prevent us from being who we truly are?
If you lack the iron and the fuzz to take control of your own life, if you insist on leaving your fate to the gods, then the gods will repay your weakness by having a grin or two at your expense. Should you fail to pilot your own ship, don't be surprised at what inappropriate port you find yourself docked. The dull and prosaic will be granted adventures that will dice their central nervous systems like an onion. Romantic dreamers will end up in the rope yard. You may protest that it is too much to ask of an uneducated 15-year-old girl that she defy her family, her society, her weighty cultural and religious heritage in order to pursue a dream that she doesn't really understand. Of course, it's asking too much. The price of self-destiny is never cheap, and in certain situations it is unthinkable. But to achieve the marvelous, it is precisely the unthinkable that must be thought.
You once said, "What bothers most critics of my work is the goofiness." One reviewer said I need to make up my mind if I want to be funny or serious. My response is that I will make up my mind when God does, because life is a commingling of the sacred and the profane, good and evil. To try and separate them is fallacy. I love this. How do you embody this divine tension?
People tend to take everything too seriously, especially themselves. And that's probably what makes them scared and hurt so much of the time. Life is too serious to take that seriously.
Any last thoughts?
It's never too late to have a happy childhood.
As a special finale, my brother Jiggs will read some more of Tom's words. Jiggs is a family friend of Tom and his wife Alexa, and said that Tom had a profound impact on him as a teenager, blowing Jiggs's mind with his different colored glasses for each room and Delic stories of the 60s with the legends Jiggs had on his walls at home. Jiggs said that Tom is forever a magical man in his heart that seemed to bring out the dreamer in everyone around him naturally.
Teachers who offer you the ultimate answers do not possess the ultimate answers, for if they did, they would know that the ultimate answers cannot be given, they can only be received. A sense of humor is superior to any religion so far devised. You should never hesitate to trade your cow for a handful of magic beans. We're our own dragons, as well as our own heroes, and we have to rescue ourselves from ourselves. When they tell you to grow up, they mean stop growing.
Enough said. Now go and read or reread all of Tom's books and imbue his ancient outlaw twinkle into your mother-jumpin' soul. Written on an elliptical, February 10th, 2025. Thank you to everyone who read Tom Robbins' words on this episode. Sending love to you all. Take it away, Kev.
The photo change, we keep getting older, and sometimes we don't understand how we're growing, going from phase to phase, but I keep holding on, trying to learn to transform with grace. But darling, this mind is not even mine. We're dreaming our dreams on borrowed time. Identity aside, there's something in our eyes, a spark that never dies under the disguise. Baby, we are timeless love, forever waking up. So don't forget who we are. Baby, we are timeless love, forever waking up. So don't forget who you are. Look out the frame, the window is broken. And if we reach inside, we'll see that it's open. Blind in our fate, the love keeps us going through the flames as we transform with grace. But darling, this mind is not even mine. We're dreaming our dreams on borrowed time. Identity aside, there's something in our eyes, a spark that never dies under the disguise. Baby, we are timeless love, forever waking up. So don't forget who we are. Baby, we are timeless love, forever waking up. So don't forget who we are. Right where we needed to be, following that light that ain't easy to see. The physical will change, but the love never leaves. Keep following that light through infinity forever, 'cause that's who we